Portland be the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
History for Justin Herbert, the former Oregon star, hit Austin Eckler for his 28th touchdown pass of the season. That sets a new rookie record for touchdown passes. Herbert passes Baker Mayfield, who set the record just 2 seasons ago. He's also the front runner for the Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Chargers beat the Broncos 19-14. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sports Sunday. I'm Art Edwards. No traveling this week. They actually let me come into the studio for a change. Orlando Sanchez has other things going on this weekend. He's taking a few days off, a few vacation days. Hey, this just in right now to our newsroom. Carmelo Anthony did not make the Blazers trip to California because of COVID-19 protocol. It'll be just one of the challenges for the Blazers, both on and off court, over the next week. Plus, we are just 6 days away from the Fiesta Bowl. We'll hear from the Oregon Ducks as they get ready for Iowa State. And this may be the ultimate New York Knicks thing. Why one player had to switch jerseys during the game. You know what? For the first time since 2016, the Seattle Seahawks can call themselves NFC West champions. And surprisingly, they have their defense to thank for that crown. Seattle taking on the Rams at Lumen Field. Offensively, this game got off to kind of a slow start. No touchdowns for either team in the first half. Tied at 6 at the break. In the third quarter, though, the Seahawks offense did show some signs of life. They got the very first touchdown of the game. And then the defense simply took over for Seattle. They stuffed the Rams on a 4th and goal play. You know, Los Angeles could only manage 3 field goals in this game. 5th straight opponent, Seattle's been able to hold under 20 points. Little icing on the cake in the fourth quarter for the Seahawks. They get the 20-9 win, and they win the NFC West title. Jamal Adams, man, he is excited.
I don't want to be too happy because I don't want people to say, you know, he's dramatic or he hasn't been there before. You damn right I haven't been there before. So, damn it, it feels good. It feels great. Golly, we came out victorious, and, man, what a hard-fought battle. A lot of respect goes to, you know, L.A. and what they do. A lot of respect to them. But, man, it feels damn good.
Well, let's head to Seattle now so we can talk to Seahawks insider Joe Fan from NBC Sports Northwest. They win the NFC West, Joe. What do you make of that? And thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah, of course. I always enjoy it. I appreciate you having me. It was a huge win for Seattle, of course, winning the NFC West, beating the Rams 20-9. But, you know, in the process, beating an opponent they had not played well against of late. The Rams had won 5 out of the last 6 matchups. Sean McVay has had Pete Carroll's number, and this was a dominant defensive performance. And you can point to Jared Goff not playing very well, but that was all induced by the Seahawks defense. And the Seahawks are usually are used to seeing the best out of Jared Goff, and to keep the Rams out of the end zone was tremendous. Russell Wilson, the offense, did just enough. A fantastic 9-play, 80-yard touchdown drive to put the game on ice with that Jacob Hollister touchdown catch. So a tremendous performance and a lot of momentum for this Seahawks team, who now gets to host the wild card round in the playoffs, likely or potentially against the Rams.
You know, as I was watching this, I was really kind of surprised to see it with no touchdowns at all in the first half. And then, you know, there was a little bit of offense for the Seahawks. Are you at all worried about what's been going on with the offense of late?
Yeah, I think it's understandable to be worried a bit, but I think you got to feel good about Russell Wilson. 20 of 32, 225 yards, 1 touchdown. The big thing, no turnovers. He also ran for a touchdown. 20 points when your defense is playing like that is going to get the job done. You know, so I think you feel much better about the Seahawks defense than you are in any way concerned about Seattle's offense. You know, the first half wasn't ideal. It wasn't great, but you're also playing the best defense in football. So you tip your cap to a degree and you acknowledge that you're able to figure some things out over the final 30 minutes of the game. And I think the biggest thing is that statement drive. Again, 9 plays, 80 yards in the fourth quarter. They didn't score that touchdown against Washington last week. They went 3 and out and turned the ball over on those final drives. That was a huge, huge score just like a statement drive, in my opinion, arguably the best of their season. Again, that really put the game on ice and took some of the pressure off the defense.
What is the difference, do you think, for the defense right now? Because early in the season, we kept talking about how the defense seemed to be a liability.
Yeah, well, it was a liability. It was historically bad in terms of the yards and points they were allowing through really the first half of the season. There's always been too much talent on this defense for it to be so bad. So it makes sense now that things have turned around and guys are playing up to their potential.
All right, well, it's good to see and it's happening at the right time. Joe, thanks a lot for spending some time with us. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week after Week 17.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks so much.
All right, it's time to head around the NFL, driven by Hyundai. We start at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The Chiefs had their hands full with the Atlanta Falcons of all teams. Late in the fourth quarter, Patrick Mahomes hooks up with Demarcus Robinson for the 25-yard scoring pass to put Kansas City on top. Falcons missed a late field goal that would have tied the ball game. Kansas City wins at 17-14 to go 14-1. They clinch the top seed in the AFC and have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We move from Kansas City, Missouri, east to Pittsburgh. The Steelers hosting the Colts. Big Ben and the Steelers trying to get back on track. Roethlisberger came up big just in time for the Steelers in the fourth quarter. They trailed 24-7, but here it is. Juju Smith-Schuster hauls in the pass from Big Ben for the 25-yard score. Steelers took the lead, and then the defense held on for the final 7.5 minutes of the game. Pittsburgh wins at 28-24. They break a 3-game losing streak, and they clinch the AFC North. Head coach Mike Tomlin talked about the big comeback.
It's a fine line between, drinking wine and squashing grapes, as we say in this business, and sometimes it's very subtle. And so we didn't change drastically in terms of our approach, in terms of what we were doing. We just acknowledged that we had some opportunities we didn't make.
Drinking wine and squashing grapes. All right. Hey, let's keep moving east to the shadow of New York City, where the Jets hosted the Cleveland Browns. Without 5 receivers, the Browns were because of COVID-related issues. Now, all of a sudden, the Jets, though, are playing some serious ball. This third quarter touchdown pass from Sam Darnold to a wide open Jamison Crowder put the Jets on top 20-3. They managed to hold on and take the game 23-16. Jets move to 2-13. Browns fall to 10-5. They have to win next week at Pittsburgh to secure a playoff spot. Baker Mayfield taking the blame.
We had exactly what we needed to win this game, and I didn't do good enough, and that's it. There's nothing. I'm proud of these guys for being able to step up. I mean, these guys didn't even think they were going to play. So for anybody to criticize them, shame on you. Put it on me for not doing my job.
All right, let's make our way to Jerry's World in Arlington, Texas. The Cowboys in a rivalry matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas depending on Andy Dalton. There he is right there to carry their chances for the postseason. Dalton came through big time. 21-yard scoring connection with Michael Gallup. Dalton threw for 377 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys roll over the Eagles 37-17. The 6-9 Cowboys can make it to the playoffs if they beat the Giants and Washington loses to the Eagles next week. The winner of the NFC East will make the playoffs with a losing record. All right, you know what time it is. It is time to take a look at the players and the teams that had good weeks and those with not so good weeks. It's our heroes and zeros. Football games stretched out over the holidays, so we're going to start on Christmas Day. The Saints, Alvin Kamara with an amazing day. He scored 6 touchdowns in the New Orleans Saints' 52-33 win over the Vikings. The last time a player had 6 rushing TDs in a game was Ernie Nevers back in 1929. According to the NFL Record and Fact Book, that was tied for the longest standing individual record in the NFL. It was tied with Nevers scoring 40 points in that same game. Our next hero, Tom Brady. The Tampa Bay quarterback led his team to a demolition of the Detroit Lions. Buccaneers won the game 47-7. Brady only had to play the first half of this one, but he still threw for 348 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tampa Bay is headed to the playoffs for the first time since 2007. Brady becomes the first player in NFL history to make the playoffs 12 consecutive seasons. All right, now it's time for the other side of things. Our first zero, Jacksonville Jaguars, the entire team. Although if you're a Jacksonville fan, you might think that they're heroes even though they lost. The Jags fell to the Bears 41-17. But the big thing is their loss and the Jets win means that Jacksonville is assured of the #1 pick in the next draft. Could be that kid out of Clemson who plays quarterback. And then finally, we go to Washington for our last zero, Dwayne Haskins. This has been a week for him. He got fined $40,000 by the team and is no longer a captain. He started today's game against the Panthers because Alex Smith is hurt. That's the only reason why he started. He got benched in the second half after he threw for 154 yards, 2 interceptions, and lost a fumble. There is a bright spot. Our dreams of a division champion with 10 losses is still a possibility. Hey, we have much more to come tonight. The Blazers are 1-1 to start the season, but things get a little bit tougher in week 2. They're going to be heading to Hotel California. Seriously, it's going to feel like they're in that song for a few days. And later on, the Ducks are getting ready for a trip to Arizona. We're going to hear from the team ahead of the matchup with Iowa State. Welcome back. The Portland Trail Blazers picked up their first win of the season on Saturday night against Houston. The Rockets without 6 players because of COVID protocols. They did have James Harden, though, and that was almost enough. Blazers' Damian Lillard had a big first half. He had 21 points in the first half of the game, but Portland still trailed by 10 at the half. It has been a struggle for the Blazers so far, and then it became the C.J. McCollum show. He scored 14 points in the third quarter, a career-high 9 3-pointers in this game, including the game winner in overtime. He had 44 points total. Now, it was the 13th time, as it turns out, that McCollum and Lillard have each scored 30 points in the same game. That is the most of any duo ever. They combined for 76 points in the game, a second most in a game as teammates. CJ says, look for him to be more offensive coming up.
Yeah, I was just trying to be aggressive, man. I know, based on, some of the things we're going through right now, offensively and defensively, we have to play well. We have to be efficient. I need to make threes, I need to take threes, and just try to be aggressive. They did a good job of setting screens and getting me open, and I just didn't hesitate. Understanding how the game is shifting, I'm going to shoot more threes. I'm going to make more threes.
All right, so now the Blazers have to hit the road. They have a 4-game road trip going up, and as we told you, Carmelo Anthony is not going with the team, at least not at the beginning. He is home because of COVID protocols. So the 4-game road trip starts in Los Angeles. There'll be 2 games there, the Lakers tomorrow, and then they'll play the Clippers on Wednesday. After that, they head to Northern California for 2 games with the Warriors. Derrick Jones Jr. looking forward to playing against the Lakers again. He was with the Heat for the NBA Finals.
I can't wait. Me personally, I love a challenge, and this is going to be a challenge. One of the best teams in the West, and just going out there, being able to play and compete is all we want. Just go out there and compete and play our hardest to get the win.
So as teams are already finding out, road trips promise to be an adventure in the NBA this year because of COVID-19. Things are going to be tough in San Francisco and in Los Angeles this week. California's restrictions on gatherings will make practice nearly impossible.
It's going to be different, and you're right. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, having been to Denver for those 3 or 4 days and going through that kind of gave us a taste of it.
All right, let's talk a little expansion here. It has been 12 years since the Blazers faced off with their arch rivals, but Seattle fans are absolutely giddy after something that Adam Silver said this week. Silver talked about the future of the league in interviews, and he said that they have started looking at expansion. Nothing is close to happening just yet. It's still a back burner kind of issue, but it has everyone talking. Silver went further, saying that the Emerald City would be at the top of any expansion list. Former players and coaches are in agreement that it should happen. Silver has downplayed expansion talk in recent years, but fees for new franchises really could help the league recoup money that was lost during the pandemic. In the meantime, one of the league's current franchises continues to be a dumpster fire. Seems appropriate here. You won't believe why a Knicks player had to change his jersey mid-game.
They had the wrong number. They had 25.
42-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. Massimo Biscardi. Kick was blocked and Liberty's going to win it. The Flames find a way in overtime and Hugh Freeze celebrates.
A Liberty ended Coastal Carolina's perfect season with that blocked kick in overtime. The Flames win the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl 37-34. Both teams finished the season ranked, and with just 1 loss, that was your Toyota Sunday Sizzle. Hey, while we're talking bowl football, let's check in on the Oregon Ducks in the Fiesta Bowl. The team got some time off this week, just before Christmas, just a couple of days off. It'll be the Pac-12 champion Ducks going to Arizona for the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl against the runner-up in the Big 12. That would be Iowa State. These teams have never played before, and what Iowa State puts out there on the field is very different than anything Oregon has seen this season.
What stands out, really good running backs, really good offensive line, really good tight ends. A lot of physicality up front. They really like to move people off the ball, so it's gonna be a good game.
Iowa State it's the most physical team we've seen on tape, and I'm talking about since the time I've been here at Oregon. And that 3-3-5 stack approach is something very different and unique to us. We haven't seen it. We haven't played against it, so we feel fortunate we have a couple weeks to prepare for it. And
well, let's hope that time works. The game is Saturday, January 2nd in Arizona, of course. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. We'll be right back.
Well, Bullock has number 23 on the back of his jersey, which is obviously Mitchell Robinson's number. Bullock on he's number 25. I think they're going to have to change jerseys.
Yeah, they did have to change jersey. I tell you what, this situation sums up the New York Knicks perfectly. Reggie Bullock somehow had a jersey with two different numbers on it. Look at it again. Number 23 on the back, which is Mitchell Robinson's number, and 25 on the other side, which is Bullock's normal number. The officials made him sub out so that he could make the jersey change and get it all straightened out. The Indianapolis Colts borrowed a classic move from the TV show Soul Train to celebrate their first touchdown of the day in Pittsburgh. The brief celebration adds to the Colts' deep resume of unique touchdown dances. Last month, one of their players made headlines with twisting somersault into the end zone, and last week the team did the boot-scooting boogie after a Taylor TD. Unfortunately, today they didn't win. Steph Curry didn't mess around after a 39-point loss on Christmas Day for his team. He wasn't very happy about it, and he didn't shoot very well. So he decided that he would do a little bit of practicing. This is Saturday at their practice. He took the court and went on a 5-minute three-point barrage. The two-time MVP made 105 straight threes from the right corner. I don't know how much it helped him, because today when they played, he only hit 5 of 15 three-pointers in the Warriors' 129-128 win over Chicago. At least they got the win, but maybe he wants to stay in that corner. Hey, thanks a lot. That's going to do it for the show tonight. We're looking for our friend Orlando. If you see him out there, let us know. We're going to leave you with our plays of the week.
This is it, we on a mission, under no condition. Will we fold? All we know is the trenches. No, there's no intention of slowing up, we blowing up. They're gon' erupt, cause they know what's up. We swinging for the fences like, give me that dub. Everybody got a little bit of that in them, from the summer to the winter. If you wanna be a winner, go ahead and let me hear you like, ask about me, ain't no off season. The hunger is real.